Let's begin without any further ado. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking the time out to join us today, and welcome to today's webinar, where we'll be introducing our Skills Future Career Transition Program and answering any questions you may have about transitioning to these IT careers. So I'm Trixian, an ICT Product Manager at NTUC LearningHub, and I will be your host today. So just a reminder, throughout the webinar, if you have any questions, you can enter them into the Q&A box in the control panel below, and we will address them throughout the webinar and during the Q&A session at the end. So coming up, this is our agenda for this afternoon. First, what I will do is I will share an overview of this SCTP program, what it's about, eligibility criteria, the key features. And after that, you can hear from each of our subject matter experts who will dive deeper into each program. And today, we will also have one of our past trainees who graduated from our Cybersecurity Associate program to share a little bit about his experience and his career transition. So lastly, we will end off with a Q&A session. All right, so just a reminder, throughout the session, if you have any questions, please feel free to park them in the Q&A box. We will address them throughout the webinar and then also at the end. So first of all, what is this Skills Future Career Transition Program all about? So it's actually supported by Skills Future Singapore, and it is a train and place program to support mid-career individuals to help you to acquire industry-relevant skills and improve your employability so that you can pivot to new sectors or job roles. So the trainees that join our program will attend the training courses in addition to some career advisory services and employment facilitation. So these are the three key features that you see here. Firstly, our program is actually designed in collaboration with leading knowledge partners and subject matter experts, such as Microsoft, AWS, KPMG, Oracle, and the other logos that you see here. And what this means is that we feature industry-relevant courses as well as certifications to ensure your smooth transition to your desired role in the workplace. And secondly, in addition to structured training, you will also have several opportunities to apply what you have learned on a real-world problem through capstone projects or on-the-job training. And this takes place in the format of sometimes independent and also group work. Right, so at the end of it, you will have a portfolio that you can present to your future employers. And thirdly, we have very strong employment facilitation services, which I will share more in the next slide. So throughout the program, employment facilitation is a key feature and a strong aspect. So our career facilitation team will actually be working with you throughout the program to support you with career resilience executive workshops with E2I, job matching initiatives and regular career fairs and webinars, personalized virtual advice on resume writing, interview strategies and techniques. And also we'll be providing a digital career coach via a career agility hub application that you can use throughout your career, which, it's a premium accessible of $24 and more to improve your career prospects. So just to share also, NTUC LearningHub has a very strong track record in delivering placement-based programs, and we have actually successfully placed our past trainees in these companies that you see here today. So do note that, of course, there is no placement guarantee in this program, but our team will be working with you and trying our best together with your input, of course, to ensure your seamless pivot into a new role. So in designing these programs, we also studied in-demand skills and jobs reported in the market, right, to make sure that the programs that we have curated and that you're taking are really relevant to industry needs. So according to this APAC Digital Skills Research Report published by Amazon recently, there is an increasing trend in adoption of new technologies that has transformed jobs across sectors, giving us all opportunities to better our skills to pivot to new careers. And as an estimate, it is said that Singapore will need an additional 1.2 million digital workers by year 2025, which is a very sharp 55% increase from today's levels. And we hope that through our Skills Future Career Transition Program, designed in partnership with our knowledge partners and subject matter experts, you can also upgrade your digital skill sets to pivot into these emerging job roles with strong demand. All right, so before we move ahead, let me just share the program eligibility as well, because I think that would be a key concern for everyone here. So it's relatively straightforward. It's really these three main criteria that you see here. So firstly, you must be a Singapore citizen and PR age 21 and above to take up this program. Second, you must fulfill the minimum entry requirements of each program, which I will share in the next slide. And third is that you must achieve at least 75% training attendance for each module and pass all associated assessments and projects. All right, so these are the three key criteria that you must hit to be eligible for this program. All right, so on to the minimum entry requirements. So here what you see is an overview of the 4 programs we actually have to help you pivot into these IT roles. So we have the Cybersecurity Associate and Data Analyst, which we'll be sharing more about today. And we actually have 2 other programs, Oracle Java Programmer and Digital Marketing and Graphic Design Specialist, where we just completed a webinar on Monday. So if you would like to hear more about these, if you'd like to learn more about these other 2 programs, feel free to head to our landing page to read up, and also you can get in touch with our course consultants to find more also. But today we will be focusing on the first 2 programs. So the cybersecurity, so both programs, someone is speaking, right? All right, so both the Cybersecurity Associate and Data Analyst program will be delivered full-time. Full-time meaning 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. each weekday. All right, and both these programs will also be held in VLC mode. So VLC stands for Virtual Live Class, meaning that the class will be held virtually on Zoom, right, with a live trainer. And some differentiation is, for example, the Cybersecurity Associate program is 4.5 months. So this 4.5 months actually consists of 1.5 months of training and 3 months on-the-job training with and at KPMG. All right, the minimum entry requirements is we do require a minimum diploma in STEM discipline and also minimum 2 years experience in network and system or system administration. All right, and the class is starting on the 14th of November. All right. And whereas for the Data Analyst program, the duration is 3.5 months. We do require a minimum diploma in a STEM discipline, and the class starts on 26th October. So these are the very key information that you will need. And do take note that there are limited seats for these programs, so do apply as soon as possible. And I will share a little bit about the application process in the next few slides. So now that you are interested to take up this program, you'll be wondering, what is the funding like? What is the support from the government like? So this is actually an overview of the funding schemes offered by Skills Future Singapore. So firstly, if you are a Singapore citizen or PR age 21 years and above, you will be eligible for 70% of course fee funding, which is very, very significant. Furthermore, if you are a Singapore citizen age 40 years old and above, you can get up to 90% of course fee funding, also called the Mid-Career Enhanced Subsidy. And additionally, if you are a Singapore citizen where you are either long-term unemployed, meaning unemployed for 6 months or more, if you are in need of financial assistance, meaning you are on ComCare or you are on Workfare Income Supplement, or you are persons with disabilities, you can get up to 95% of course fee funding. So these are the 3 key funding tiers from Skills Future Singapore. But on top of this funding, you can also tap on other schemes such as the Post-Secondary Education Account, PSEA, your Skills Future Credit, SFC, and if you're an NTUC member, you will also have your Union Training Assistance Program, your UTAP. All right. So for any queries on your funding, please reach out to us, and our course consultants will support you and try to find out, okay, you know, what funding are you eligible for also, so not to worry. So the different programs or the Cybersecurity Associate and the Associate Data Analyst program actually have a full course fee of 18,000. But of course, your fee payable after funding, including GST, is the 3 columns highlighted in green that you will see here right now. All right, so if you're a Singapore citizen and PR age 21 years above, you will be paying $5,778. And this is before your other funding schemes like your post-secondary education account, your SkillsFuture credit, and also your UTAP. All right. And of course, there are also other tiers after 90% funding and after 95% funding. If let's say you are a Singapore citizen, age 40 years old and above, or if you're in need of financial assistance. So the application process is relatively straightforward. Let's say you want to submit your profile for consideration. This is what the process looks like. So first, you submit your profile and resume to us. We will review it and contact you for an interview if you're shortlisted. And once you pass the interview, you will be enrolled in our program where you can start the training and employment facilitation. So here is a QR code leading to our program landing page. Not to worry, we will also put the URL in the chat box. So now I'm just going to do a very quick walkthrough about how you're going to submit your resume and profile on our page. So it's the same QR code as the previous page, right? This QR code will lead you to our landing page. And on our landing page, you will see the 4 programs that we offer, as well as an Apply Now button. All right. So click Apply Now to, if you're interested to apply for the program, and you'll be led to an external site called Zopa. All right. There you should click on Apply Now again, and you'll be led to a form to fill in your profile and also upload your resume. So from there is a complete application. All right. And when you're doing that, just be as detailed as possible when you are filling out the application so that we can assess your profile well. And once you are shortlisted, we'll be contacting you for an interview very soon. Right. So again, this is the same QR code. I will also put the link in the chat box. All right, so next up, we actually have our product manager for Cybersecurity Associate program to share a little bit more in depth about his program. So over to you, James.
Hey, hi, thanks a lot, Chu Chen, for that wonderful presentation. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Okay, just let me share the screen. Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for taking your time down to join us in the SCTP webinar. My name is James. I'm the Cybersecurity Product Manager. So before we start, just like to share you guys the landscape of cybersecurity. So this is actually a report that's done by the Cybersecurity Agency of Singapore. Well, the key takeaway from this report that is published this year is that if you look at the total crimes last year, almost 50% of the total crimes is attributed to cyber crimes. And you see that there is actually an increase in ransomware. You will also see that there is a lot of computers getting infected with malicious programs on a daily basis, and also an increase in phishing URLs. So what this means is that as our economy is moving towards the digital front, there is the cyber threat implication that is very real. You guys know, have heard of like OCBC, right? People getting scammed through smishing on their mobile phones. So that was just some insight into what's happening in Singapore. And when we look at the in-demand jobs and in-demand skills by employers, cybersecurity is one of them. So why join our SCTP Cybersecurity Associate Program? Now, number one, I think first and foremost, we like to look at the talent gap, or rather and also the skill shortage in Singapore. You see that there are quite a number of publications that also show that in Singapore there is this talent crunch in cybersecurity, and we are all scrambling to look for cybersecurity talent, right? So this course, this program, as mentioned by Chu Tian, the prerequisite for this program mainly will be your experience in networking and security. So if let's say you are currently a support technician in the IT department, or if you're in system network or security as an administrator, then you are definitely qualified to join this program. So the overall structure of this program is 4.5 months. So in the first 1.5 months, there will be classroom trainings, basically theory, and also you get to have some hands-on labs for practical exercise. But what is very interesting about this program is that at the end of the 1.5 months, you will start your journey with KPMG on the job training. So what this means is that you will be assigned a cybersecurity role within KPMG's cybersecurity division. Depending on your background and your experience, you may be assigned to a more technical role or a less technical role, right? And with this hands-on knowledge and with these credentials working at KPMG for 3 months, this is really a value add for you to showcase to your prospective employers. So this is the pathway that we have curated for this program. Let me run through in detail. So you start off with network and security essentials. This module will be based out of Network Plus and Security Plus from CompTIA. So it will talk about how you're going to configure, manage, and maintain network devices, how you're going to implement network security standards and protocols. The next module will bring you to Azure fundamentals. As we all know, Microsoft Azure is one of the leading brands for virtual and cloud. So this is the next course that you will go through. And then we also have the AWS Cloud Practitioner Essentials, right? So AWS is another big name. And moving forward, we'll put you through the CISA, which is focusing on IT audit. This is by Isaka. Next, we'll put you through Series. So Series is a course that is focusing on managing enterprise risks. And then follow on, we will bring you to, we will get you upskilled in IT governance with CIGIT. And last but not least, will be CISSP by ISC Squared. So by far, this is one of the most prestigious industrial certificate course that is inside this program. So just to take note that for all the courses, we will have qualified and accredited trainers by the various vendors to deliver the course trainings to you. But however, just take note that for the exam vouchers, it's separate from this course and it's entirely on your own, okay? Because some of the courses like CISA, Series, and CISM, and CISSP, you do require to meet at least 3 to 5 years of working experience in the security domain. So next will be on the job training with KPMG. So this will be 3 months. So as I mentioned, based on your background, your experience, KPMG will assign you to a cyber role within their division, and then there will be a mentor that will be, or a team lead that will be helping you to and guiding you through this 3 months. Yeah. So this will be so there will be a monthly progress report, and of course this is where the opportunity lies, right? So if you are interested to join KPMG within the cybersecurity division, this is the right opportunity, and that's where they will assess your performance and see whether you are a right fit to their organization. Okay, so this is basically the kind of cybersecurity framework within KPMG. So they focus on strategy and governance, cyber transformation, cyber defense, and cyber response. So in this 3 months, you'll be assigned to a team that will manage 1 or 2 projects, which are actually real projects that KPMG undertakes. Okay, so far, any questions? And then right now, I think we can, we have a past SGUS candidate who have taken a similar pathway, similar program. Right now it's converted to SCTP. So his name is Kevin, and yeah. So I will pause here for a while we try to address any questions you might have.
Yeah, James, I think if you take a look at the Q&A box, there are some questions about the on-the-job training that you could address.
Okay, Ken. So maybe I will attempt to answer the first question by Divaraj K. You asked if presently employed, is it possible to sign up? Actually, it's recommended not to be, not to be employed, because this is quite a this 4.5 months is quite packed. Previously, SG United, when we ran this program, it was 6 months. Already, it was quite packed, and now we have actually brought it down to 4.5 months. So you wouldn't have time to be employed or taking your part-time studies to do this program. Okay. Next question.
I think, yeah, so another one is from Cole KH. The questions is, are we paid during OJT?
Yeah, so this is a very common question, and it's a good question. During OJT, there is no payout or there's no training allowance per se. So this is entirely on your own. The good thing is that the OJT is with KPMG, and as I mentioned, if you are in it and you want to and you endeavor to be in this industry, then you would want to have this credential in your CV. Yeah. Any other questions? Oh, let me see. Okay, I think there's one question. If one is never in any IT support role, will he stand a chance? Okay, so this is debatable, right? So if let's say you are not in an IT support role, but if you are already trying to take up part-time studies on your own to understand about networking, to understand about security, then it's possible we can have a face-to-face interview with you, and then we can probably check in on some stuff, and then we can make a decision whether you fit this program or not.
Thanks, James. I think there is one more question from Agnes. So I'll be based in Australia and wondering if the on-the-job training can be done in Australia or KPMG. So I think maybe this question is referring to the mode of the OJT.
Okay. Yes. So for on-the-job training, it has to be in Singapore. You can't reside in elsewhere outside of Singapore. Otherwise, it's difficult to meet face to face with KPMG team. Yeah. So you do have to be in Singapore to take this program. There's a question by Anonymous. What if we don't have a diploma but have prior skills and knowledge? Yeah, so this is something that although on paper we do require a diploma, but yeah, if you do have prior skills and knowledge, we can always do an interview, and then we can kind of do a short test or a small test to see whether to see your understanding and whether you fit this program.
Yeah, so I think our minimum entry requirements for our programs are like a standard gauge to understand your capabilities and whether or not you can handle our programs. But of course, if you don't fulfill the education requirements, but if you have very strong experience in like similar fields, then still feel free to submit your application. Don't let that hold you back. And then during the interview process, that's where we can speak to you and try to understand, of course, also question like what is your experience like, and validate your experience. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to also put across that, and as I have mentioned and stressed, this 1.5 months will not be a walk in the park, right? So it's going to be tough, and I would think that you wouldn't, if you have joined the program, you wouldn't have time to do any part-time studies or any other part-time jobs. So especially so if, let's say, you have limited experience or exposure to cybersecurity or networking. So this is really something, if you want to participate or if you want to register for this program, you need to be committed, right? As our SGUS trainee had previously shared, Kevin, for example, he mentioned like it is not easy ride for him, and really it's all about endurance. Yeah, but we are waiting for Kevin to join. So let me take on the other questions.
There's another question, anonymous question. Are there internal tests at the end of all 8 modules to pass? So yes, we do. So in fact, across all our SCTPs, at the end of each module, there will be a short assessment. And it is, yeah. So that question, yes, there is. And you have to pass the assessment. But of course, not to worry, our trainer will be guiding you throughout the module to help you with the assessment as well. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so Kevin is here. So let me introduce Kevin, who is our past SUS trainee who have graduated from the similar program. Yeah.
Kevin, would you like to test your speaker to see if we can hear you?
Hello?
Great, we can hear you.
Hi.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you can see me.
Your camera is not on at the moment.
Okay. Okay. I think I'll do it just audio call. Is that okay?
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So hi everyone. My name is Kevin. I'm a senior associate in the cyber advisory practice at KPMG. So good afternoon to all of you. I was part of the initial LHub program and converted to a permanent role. And today I was invited to share some experiences about the OJT, which stands for on-the-job training on this program. So I'll just give you maybe 20 seconds to just take a look at this slide. And maybe Chu Chen has already mentioned some of it already, and James might have talked about it already. And I think those are things that you should think about when you embark on this journey. It's actually a very interesting journey, and it is very rewarding because I think cybersecurity is definitely very much in demand now. So as I was mentioning, cybersecurity is already a big thing, and it has a very broad scope. And KPMG does advisory and audit in this area. Let me give you my experience on how I experienced the OJT itself. During the first week, right, you will have a lot of orientation type of activities. And the purpose of this is to familiarize new joinees, and it is actually very informative. And on one of the days, right, there will be a welcome session, and this is usually organized, and you will have the partner and also a director who is a senior level employee who gives an overview of the company. So in my capacity, I took this opportunity to mingle around with my batchmates and also, introduce myself to the team and, to all the participants in this event. So it's actually quite fun. It's very relaxed, and, it's kind of like an icebreaker. And the moment you start, right, meaning like the first day you actually go to the office, you will be quite busy. During the orientation week, there'll be various online trainings and classroom sessions now. They have restarted this after COVID, and that you will need to attend and you must complete. So there's going to be a lot of information to absorb. My advice is really don't worry. This is quite normal. And if you manage your time well, it will be okay. Okay, I guess mentioning about the culture of the company will be interested to the audience today. Generally, the people are very nice and they are very helpful. So it's good that you reciprocate as well. And the office environment is ultra modern and very high tech. I like it very much. It's actually very nice, and it's located at Asia Square 2, which is about maybe 4 or 5 minutes walk from Lau Pa Sat. So it's very central. The work culture is highly professional, and there are colleagues from all over the world. So it's very interesting, actually. You've got folks from, of course, Singapore. Majority of us are from here, and then you've got people from Europe. You've got people from Australia, New Zealand, all over the world. One interesting thing that I'd like to highlight is that almost every week there are social events that are being organized for all employees, and those who have time and who are interested, you can join these programs. So it's actually quite fun. There's a good balance of work and play. And, an interesting fact about the new building is that our new office is that there's a clubhouse, and they actually have a bar up there. So it's very cool. Yeah. And I think this might be interesting or useful information to the audience today. Each one of you who decide to participate in this program, you'll be assigned a PM. So PM here means the performance manager, and this is a senior member of the team that you will be reporting to. So depending on the situation, some PMs may assign you to be supervised by other team members. And you will be constantly assessed by most, if not all, the directors, managers, and even the team members in the pillar that you go into. And the pillar is basically the silo that you have an interest in. and they will give feedback on their views about your performance and about yourself to the performance manager, to your performance manager. So there could be some minor variations on how this is done, but generally this is how it works. So there'll be a PM, and you'll be parked under that PM, and then everyone else in the team will assess you. So for those who are planning to join KPMG, generally the areas that they are assessed on for interns and for trainees, usually they will look at your personality, your capability, how enthusiastic you are, and also very importantly, your personal conduct. Basically how you behave, your level of professionalism, and whether you're a nice person or not. But generally, it's a very professional and very friendly kind of environment. And for those who decide to sign up for this program, it's actually a new concept of working, and it's quite a nice working environment. It's very flexible. However, just avoid abusing the flexibility in the ways of working, because some teams, right, they work from home between 2 to 4 days a week. So, it really depends on what team you are with, and what kind of activities that you have. So pretty flexible. So just some closing thoughts. I would advise, keep an open mind, be willing to learn the new ways of doing things, and there will be many things to learn actually. In fact, you'll find that there's so many things that you would like to learn, but just not enough time in a day. So sometimes you wish you have 48 hours. And attempt the training task that you are doing during the orientation. So, if you copy each other, and, when you get asked, that won't be so good. So, just try and do it yourself. And, that's the best way to learn, one of the best ways to learn. And I think during my batch, right, we need to set the expectations right. You'll be spending quite a lot of time on Excel and Word doing reports, and cybersecurity is not just about pen testing and ethical hacking. This is a misconception, because there are also a lot of different types of projects in cybersecurity, and there are compliance audits, risk assessments, threat assessments, code reviews, so on and so forth. And the majority of the work that the interns and trainees are exposed to is in the reporting phase of a project. So what this means is that this is where the analysis and report writing is done. So actually, right, this part is quite important, and much time is spent on this. So one thing I would say is try and map what you have learned in the course. For example, the CISSP, the CRISC, the CISA that you will study, and map it to the actual hands-on work that you will be assigned. And that's what each of you who intend to join this program need to figure out. So last but not least, I think this is a pretty good and solid program put together by LHub at KPMG, and it's actually quite unique and very relevant in our current time. So my experience was that things were well organized at LHub, and James and his team are very capable in making the journey smooth for you guys. So with this, I will wish you all the best, and have a great time. Over to you, James.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. Thank you very much for sharing your wonderful experience and your journey with us. I am good. Chu Chen, you can take over. Thanks.
Sure. So for those of you who have any questions about on-the-job training, feel free to park them in the Q&A box. And also later I'll be sharing an inquiry form. So let's say later on you think of more questions, you can also send us your queries there, and then our course consultants will reach out to you. So I hope everyone really benefited from hearing from Kevin's real life experience going through that training, and then the on-the-job training with and at KPMG. So I think moving on, what we will have is we will have our presenter for the data analyst program. So if I would like to introduce our associate data analyst program, is helmed by our product manager Edmund, and our trainer will also be coming in to share more details about this program. So Edmund, over to you.
Hi, thank you to Chen for introducing me. Hi, my name is Edmund. I'm the product manager for the SCTP Data Analytics program. Allow me to share a few slides of my deck while waiting for my partner trainer to come in. Just allow me, hang on. Just share screen. Okay, are you able to see my screen?
Great, I can see
Okay,
your
great.
screen.
All right, so allow me to share some slides with you about the program itself. Okay, for the SCTP Skills Career Transition Program, SCTP for Associate Data Analyst, let me just go through the program, briefly go through the program. Okay, so this is the things I'm going to talk to you about the SCTP program, why do we study data analytics, and then the program details, and then what are the subsidy of the program that you might expect, and also there's some frequent asked questions at the end of the session. All right, so here's let's go through the program. Okay, so this is the Skills Career Transition Program. So about the SCTP admin matters and the FAQs, okay, let me just go through. So this is a program to transform along a short program to transform Singaporeans and PR to be competent for future-ready job roles. As you know that we are aiming to go into Industry 4.0, so technology will be the central focus for this program. So we do teach in tech industry relevant skills to help you to achieve deep proficiency of the skills by having a 3.5 months of structured training, meaning to say that for each of the skills 1, 2, 3, then followed by capstone, and then followed by skills 4, 5, 6, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is a kind of a structured training that we have this 3.5 months of the SCTP program for the Associate Data Analyst program. And this structured training will be virtual training and be instructed lab. Okay, will be face-to-face, or facing virtually, and also self-paced e-learning, so that you can actually also work on your capstone project under the guidance of the mentors or industry partners that we have. And most of the skills that we actually train for you, right, is all modularized that are industry relevant. Thanks. So, like most of the tech skills that are in-demand job skills, for the top 10 digital skills as covered by the employees, right? Data analysis, AI or machine learning, and data-driven decision-making skills are one of the 3 top skills that the employers are looking out for. So you can see that data analytics is still quite important across all industries as we know today. So why study data analytics, you might ask? Okay, wait, as a result of data analytics, you can actually personalize your customer experience. You collect data and then you do analysis. You can actually improve the customer experience. You can also inform good business decision making. You can avoid risk and other things and pitfalls. Yeah. You can also streamline operations by making good data analytics to make decisions to know not to do away with other things as well, what you need in your operation day to day. And also, as I mentioned before, mitigate risk and handle setbacks. And last one is enhance security. All right, these are the what I call the benefits of learning and applying data analytics in your life and your workplace as well. So we have a lot of articles. Okay, as you can see on the slide there are so many articles that emphasizes why data analytics is so important, especially today in this industry like business or in the education as well. In business, right, a lot of companies are shifting towards big data volumes, ingesting, storing, analyzing hyper-scale data sets will include trillions of data records, everything, and the currency. And people always talk about data is the new currency, and it's a new thing, and people are looking into data. How can we do business with more informed decisions so that we can mitigate risk, so we increase higher profits and productivity? So many companies are just looking into that. All right. So these are just some articles to show you that the importance of having data analytics as part of their in the business that we have in your work here. Okay, and also data analytics is also in demand as well. As in the World Economic Forum as of 2020, roles are already growing demand that includes data analysts and scientists, AI and machine learning specialists, and robotic engineers. So as you can see in this diagram here that's posted by the World Economic Forum, data analyst is always growing. There are so many tech sectors that are always popping up here and there are so many things that deal with data, and they're always in need of data analysts to help them fulfill the roles in most of the companies today. All right. So for this SCTP program, Skills Career Transition Program, okay, what the trainees and candidates will do is to acquire industry relevant skills to improve your employability. It's a short format program that's from 3.5 to 4 months. Okay, the eligibility of the program is to be a Singaporean citizen and PR, age above 21 and above. Okay, for the eligibility criteria, right? Okay, trainees can be graduates of any of the institutions that we have, either ITE, polytechnics, local or private universities. Okay, of course, the trainees should not have attended other programs like the SGS program or SUS mid-career pathway or any of the SGS programs that before of the same program. Okay, and the trainees must be physically present in Singapore. So for the SCTP funding program, this is how we split. The full course fee on my left, okay, full course fee is about $18,000. That's before GST. Okay, for the funding eligibility for the criteria, you must achieve at least 75% attendance for each course or capstone project, and you must sit and pass all prescribed assessment and capstone project. Okay, so we have two funding components for the SCTP funding component. If you are Singaporeans or PR above 21 years old, you are eligible for funding of up to 70% of the SSG funding here. So you pay $5,778. But you are 40 years old and above, you get to enjoy a funding up to 90% of the SSG funding. Okay, that's for 40 years old and above. Okay, you pay only $2,178. Right. So what are the modules that we have in this program? Okay, so as you can see here, we have 13 modules in total. Okay, my partner trader, which will be coming a bit later, will be talking to you the various topics that you will be going through. Okay, so there are 13 topics in total with 4 capstones. Okay, what are the topics that we're going through? The basics. Number one, basics of data science. They will tell you the fundamentals. I'll let my partners go through that with you, and then you will learn more about data analytics using Microsoft Excel. That's after you learn the basic theory, and then after that, the capstones. You will learn more about how to create interactive dashboards and storytelling using Excel, followed by the learning how to analyze data using SQL with the Code Academy. And then after that, you will use that to create your next capstone project 2 with using relational database and MS Excel dashboard. After that, right, you have the math part of the data science, that is the mathematics and statistics for data science. And after that, you have the statistics for data science and business analysis, followed by the data visualization and analytics using Power BI. This Power BI is by Microsoft. Okay, it's one of the most popular data visualization software in the world that's being used today. Okay, after that, you will be using Power BI as one of the tools we have learned so far to create an interactive dashboard. All right. After that comes the very interesting part, that's the Python programming. Okay, so this is the Python 3 programming by Code Academy. It is to ground you with the fundamentals of coding in Python, followed by the data analytics and creating dashboards using Python, followed by you will learn how to build a machine learning model using Python, and then of all the skills you have attained so far, right, you go to the final capstone that is using machine learning using Python to do all your data analytics course in the final session. And that's how all it is for the 13 modules, and the duration will be 66 days. It's around about 3.5 months, right? And this is as you look on my right, the full payable fee is about $19,260.03. That's with GST. Without GST, is 18K. All right. So with that, I come to the end of my presentation, okay, I would allow my training partner to talk to you more, okay, about this program. Over to you, Mr. Adia. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks, Edmund. Let me just quickly share my screen. All right. Okay, thank you, everyone. Very good afternoon. Hope you all can see my screen and hear me clearly. If you cannot, do let me know, and then I will adjust accordingly. So Edmund spoke about the modules in brief. I am going to talk about them in a little more detail. So this 3.5 to 4 months course basically has 13 modules, as Edmund mentioned on his previous slides. It starts from the very basic and foundational levels and goes up to an intermediate and advanced level as you go through the program. So you're periodically kind of given a lift, and the gradient is very gradual as you go from one to the other. All right. Now, the whole program is divided into a few segments. So we'll talk about that in brief. So the first segment is basics of data science, Microsoft Excel, and SQL. So it comprises of these 3 different courses. If you talk about the first course, which is basics of data science, it is a 3-day course covered over 24 hours, or 24 hours covered over 3 days rather. And what it basically comprises of is, I mean, we all know as the buzzword of today, is that it tells you that data literacy is the very foundation of data analysis, right? You can't straight away dive into data analytics. You need to know the foundational level of how to ask questions, what are the basics of visualizations, what are the key jargons that you're going to be hearing throughout the course. You need to, be brought up to a level where you start understanding the very fundamentals of what data is all about. So this course helps you reach that level and cover the very foundations of data science and data literacy, right? If we put it in a more technical term. Post that, we start diving into how data analytics can be done using various tools and the process of the data workflow using various tools. So the most fundamental tool that we talk about initially is Microsoft Excel, because this is the tool that every organization uses, whether we like it or not, right? Big banks to small SMEs, everybody's using Excel to a certain extent. Now, over 4 days or 32 hours, this course will basically cover a few topics on Excel, which will allow you to become more proficient. Now, the question that one may ask is, hey, I'm using Excel. Why do I need to learn it even further? Now, you may be using Excel, but the capability of Excel is far beyond what you may be utilizing it for. So Excel is a tool which is very, very quick to learn. It's easy to learn because a lot of people know the fundamentals. Even if you do not, it's very quick to catch up on. It's very flexible. It's a skill that everybody needs. And there is a huge community out there for Excel users. And Excel has just gotten better and better. If you have been following Microsoft, they're having an event called Microsoft Ignite. Started on 12th, 13th, and today they announced a whole bunch of new things that is going to come out in Excel. So it's very exciting. Now, within this particular course, you'll understand all the different functions that Excel can be used for, all the different business scenarios that Excel is used for today. We'll talk about the different processes that data goes through, like data cleaning, transformation, analysis, and how you can be enabled to do this via Microsoft Excel. In terms of the technical content, it covers things like pivot tables, lots of different kinds of functions, visualizations, automation on Power Query, on macros, what if analysis, scenario managers, so on and so forth. So it covers a lot of things with the data, because data is the key thing that you're going to be understanding and working with. And that'll give you an ultimate goal of, hey, now I can use Excel and I can actually work on the data to do analysis. Now, the best part about it is that you actually get to try this and showcase this via your own project. So every significant topic has a project following it. So the first capstone project is about Excel and creating a very good interactive dashboard, again, across 32 hours or 4 days. This particular capstone project wants you to build your data into a beautiful dashboard on Excel. So we call it data to dashboard. And you will utilize the skills that you've learned, like pivot tables, like functions, Power Query, and so on, to enable this to happen. Now you'll get an opportunity, of course, to showcase your project to your colleagues, to your fellow peers, your trainers, your mentors, and you will get feedback, and that'll help you improve. And these are some of the past projects that people have done when they were part of such a program. Moving on, the next course that you would encounter is analyzing data with SQL. Now, SQL is structured query language, a very, very important tool for any data analyst or a data engineer or a data person. We take 8 days or 64 hours to cover this course. In this, you're going to understand how relational databases work and how structured query language can essentially be used to perform operations on relational databases. Now, within that, you learn how to load data to and from SQL. You will learn different queries in SQL to do operations on the data. You will work with multiple data sources, know how to join them, and then perform data analysis on this particular data that you store in the database. This leads us to the second capstone, wherein the second capstone covers databases and Excel. So now your task becomes a little more complex and a little more exciting, because now you're utilizing two things that you've learned. Again, over 4 days, you'll be given the opportunity to take some data, use SQL to do some engineering on the data, try to transform it, try to clean it up, try to get some basic level insights, and then pull the data into Excel to create, again, an interactive dashboard. And that will give you the avenue to explore how you can work with SQL and Excel together, right? Here also, you get the opportunity to explore how data can be sourced from different places. So you get the freedom to source data from multiple locations, online sources, and we also give you some data that you can work with. These are some samples of what people did in the past. And notice that everybody did a different thing. So you get to learn from your peers. And the best part about it is that since everybody's doing something different, you can actually pick up on what the other person has done and say, hey, that's interesting. That's a new business case that I've learned. You will see that through what I'm showing as well. You'll see one is HR, something is customer service. There's another which is employee happiness. So it's a very diverse group of projects that have been done in the past. Now, the next segment is about math and stats for data science, right? This is across 10 days or 80 hours, significant amount of time spent on this because it underpins the fundamentals of statistics and mathematics you need to know for analytics, for machine learning, for anything that you do, at an advanced level. However, you don't need to be afraid of the maths and stats because it does not necessarily talk about how you derive formula and things like that, but rather the implication and interpretation of formula and statistics to business problems, right? You need to understand what the underlying meaning is and what it means and what that implies. So that is why we learn it. So math and stats is something that people are generally afraid of, run away from. But if you want to be a very good data analyst or a data engineer or a data scientist, knowing the math and stats will help you a ton. It is important. Why? Number one, it covers the foundations of machine learning and data science, right? Foundation of everything is mathematics. It's important to know what's going on behind the scenes. We always say, hey, things are a black box. We don't know what's going on. This will open the box for you and you'll start figuring out a few things. It helps in data analysis that in turn is required in a variety of jobs that you might take up in the future. And this is used in everyday life. So you're going to cover a few topics like matrices and linear algebra. You will be taught a little bit of calculus. Calculus is a very, very important topic for machine learning. Basic statistics for business and for business analysis. So you'll know, the basic descriptive stats, your mean, median, mode, averages, and all these things. You'll talk a little bit about distributions. You'll know a little bit more about inferential stats. So it's fun because you'll understand, and you'll have the light bulb moment from time to time that, hey, oh, this is what it actually means. And further, you learn other techniques to optimization and things like that. Segment 3 is very exciting. It covers a broad range of things, starting off with business intelligence, Python programming, data analytics, and further goes into machine learning. So a longer segment. First part of it being business intelligence using Microsoft Power BI. So this is done across 4 days. 32 hours is spent on this. Now, since you've learned Excel, you will realize that Excel has a certain limitation after coming to a certain point, right? And then you might need something more. That's where Power BI comes into action. And that's where business intelligence starts becoming more relevant, because this is nothing but a process that allows you to create something more interactive and present data even better than you did before. So Power BI is a very, very powerful tool, very, very famous. Every organization is picking it up today. So this is something that you would need to have on your, in your skill set. It's a feather in your hat, something useful to have. So you will learn, everything in Power BI, all the features, how do you work with data, different business cases, building beautiful reports, connecting multiple reports, drill throughs, so on and so forth. It's super fun, trust me. And Power BI is something that I personally love as well. It's like a toy you play with in data analytics. The third capstone project is about Power BI. So you get the opportunity to work with data on a business case, apply features of Power BI to that business problem and your data, and build something amazing. I think that's what this capstone is about. These are some past projects that people have done. Again, you'll see a variety of different things: job security, weather, and then you have other demographic-based projects as well. The next segment is Python, and Python basically starts off with fundamentals of programming, goes into data analytics, and then machine learning. The total across these 3 courses is 18 days. It's 144 hours. So you'll be spending a lot of time with Python. Now, Python, we all know, is very, very in demand today. Every organization is picking up the use of Python. The demand has been growing very significantly according to various sources out there. And we have to, at some point, embrace Python if we want to start going beyond just basic tools and beyond basic functions that we use. So programming is a skill, right? And learning Python is very advantageous because it is like a one tool that can do everything. And you will start by spending 8 days on the fundamentals of programming, right? So you will understand how to do programming, what are the different nuances of coding, how do you start coding, how do you use functions, what are the different data types, what are variables. So you start from the very basic. Having some knowledge of other programming languages could help you. It's not necessary, but definitely would probably give you a little more edge in terms of understandability of some of the jargons. But it's very fundamental, so everybody can learn it. Obviously, when you learn programming, you have to use programming for something. You can't learn programming and just do addition and subtraction on it. So in this case, we're going to use programming for analytics. We're going to use programming for machine learning. So 2 parts of programming, and very important parts for that matter. Now, why is it important to use programming to learn these skills? Is because, number one, it's what underlies, or it's the underlying problem solving element. So if you don't know analytics or machine learning, a lot of problems that are solved today may not be very simple to comprehend. It's very high in demand. So you might have heard from people around you, hey, we're analyzing this, that's how we know this. We are doing predictive analytics. We are forecasting something into the future. I'm going to make a few $1 million next year. How do you know all of these things, right? That's what machine learning is capable of helping you doing. It is being used everywhere today, right from banking and finance, logistics, retail, e-commerce, maritime industry, manufacturing, healthcare. Everywhere you have analytics and machine learning, right? And in all of these sectors, Python is the common language that is being used. Organizations are undergoing digital transformation, and this is at the forefront of every organization. So it's very important to pick that up. The last capstone project, sorry, before that, analytics is covered over 2 days, and then you have 8 days on machine learning. So a total of 18 days for Python. The last capstone project following that allows you to use the skills you gained on Python and translate them into a machine learning project. That is done over 5 days or 40 hours. Here you will get the opportunity to take data, build models, train algorithms to do some kind of predictive analytics, right? It could be customer churn, it could be some kind of forecasting, it could be price forecasting, online retail price forecasting, it could be loan approvals, credit card approvals. There are so many different problems that you could do, right? So this is what this project is going to be about. And then again, you get the opportunity to present this to others and learn from what others have presented. I think that's the best avenue of learning. So you're going to be proficient in using Python because you've been using it for 18 days. You get time to practice. You get time to do projects. You have assessments. You'll start becoming more and more proficient. So in terms of tools, you're learning some of the key tools in the market today that you need to know as a data analyst. Excel, SQL, Power BI, Python. This will also allow you to cross-learn any other skill that you may require because it's very easy to and very transferable. So any skills you learn in data analysis are transferable skills. So you can always transfer them to a different tool because it's all conceptual in nature, right? Tool is the easier part to learn. But in terms of techniques, which is the conceptual bit I'm talking about, you'll be learning things like data sourcing and transformation, data analysis, data visualization, storytelling, machine learning. Through conversations, you'll start understanding a little bit about the cloud, mathematics and statistics, SQL, and so on, right? A lot more conceptual skills. Through the course, you will be taken through learning in a few ways. So you have presentations that are being done. That is to give you the theoretical knowledge. You have a lot of hands-on work. All this hands-on and practical exercises is to allow you to understand whatever you're learning better because data analysis is a very hands-on concept, right? Thirdly, group discussion. So the trainers will facilitate group discussions for you. You will, put forward your opinions in groups, discuss things, and it's a very fun time because we try to understand what the thought process of everyone, the perspective of everybody, and what they think about a particular topic. Capstone projects, you'll get time to do those. You'll be given guidance by your trainers on the capstone. Every day you are in the capstone. So that's the best part because it's being guided, whether you're going in the wrong direction or if you need to do something more, everything will be communicated. You have MCQ assessments, which are done at the end of each course. And this is the assessment that tests your knowledge on courses that you've learned and just make sure that you can remember these things, right? So the key idea is to learn and to take away conceptual understanding and practical understanding. I think in the field of data analysis, it is very important. Without that, you can't really accelerate yourself as much as you want. So I think that's a brief on the different courses that are present in this particular program. So hopefully I've given you a little better idea about what the program consists of, what are some of the underlying topics. So any further questions that you may have, do post on the Q&A. We'll be happy to take that up. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Aditya, for your insightful sharing. So again, if you have any questions for Aditya, for Edmund, or for any one of us, please put them in the Q&A box. So I think now is the Q&A session. Let me just briefly share my screen. Right. So so please plug any questions you have in the Q&A box. Meanwhile, what you can also do is you can scan this QR code, which will lead you to a form where you can submit your contact details, and our course consultants will actually be reaching out to you to address any further queries you will have. Okay. Right, so I think we have a question from Vincent. Is our language included? I think Aditya is actually typing an answer to that. Aditya, would you like to just address it live?
Yeah, sure, I can do that. So R is not part of the course. However, the course focuses on Python because the industry tends to focus more on Python, especially those which are more application focused. R is more commonly used in research. So if you are going in an organization that is more application focused, 90% of the times you'll be working on Python. So primarily Python is what will be taught to you.
Okay, I'd like to answer one question. Here we have a participant that asked, when is the start date for data analyst? Okay, the coming cohort will be starting on the 26th of October. Yeah, so hopefully I've already answered your question. Okay.
Yeah, if I'll just flash this as well. The starting date for associate data analyst is 26 October, and then the end date is 24 February. So total duration of 3.5 months. Yeah. Yeah, so we received some inquiries on part-time courses. So currently, due to limited seatings this year, we're only doing full-time, but we are in talks with the relevant funding agencies to see if we can offer the similar programs part-time next year, since they are in demand. There is another question from Vincent on the data analyst program. How much detailed coverage on data science is there?
Sure. Probably I can take that one. Thanks for the question, Vincent. The course. So data science is a very broad umbrella, right? So within data science, you have data analytics, you have advanced analytics, you have machine learning, you have other forms of learning that is parked under data science. So since the course focuses on all these different topics that I spoke about previously, all those topics primarily fall under the umbrella of data science, right? So you will learn about strategies of analyzing data, how do you prepare data, explore data, do advanced analytics, and so on. Everything falls under the umbrella of data science. So it will go into a lot of detail. It's a long format course, so you'll be spending quite a fair bit of time going into the details. It just does not just cover the surface level. You will be deep diving into the different concepts. And also during your practical learning, you will deep dive into all these concepts, and so it's going to be quite detailed.
Yes. Thanks, Aditya. Yeah, I mean, this whole program is to help you do a career pivot into being a data analyst. So, the coverage will, of course, be very in-depth to make sure that you can actually carry out the skills and knowledge in real life. Yeah. So there's also some questions on the format. So basically, it's a full-time program, full-time meaning 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. But of course, unlikely that there will be any training on weekends, unless it's due to unforeseen circumstances. But the standard is actually full-time, meaning 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on weekdays only. Yeah.
I'll probably just take the other question that Vincent has put up. So data mining and predictive analytics is basically covered in the course. So you will be learning machine learning and all these things, hence data analytics. Hence predictive analytics is also covered.
I think there is a question on the data analyst capstone. I'm not sure which capstone you're referring to, but the anonymous attendee is asking, is it 4 days at one go, or is it split into different days?
I think the detailed schedule I mean, in the detailed schedule, it could be 4 days at one go. It could be 2 days in 1 week, and then there could be a weekend and then 2 days in the other week. Or there could be 2 days, a break of 1 day, and then 2 days. So it could be either one. We'll have to look at the detailed schedule, but you can assume that it's 4 continuous days to be on the safe side.
Right. Yeah. So for those of you who are interested, you can reach out to us to get the course schedules for even more details. All right, Ben Ang is asking, is this program virtual? So yes, the data analyst program is fully virtual. So there's a question from Agnes. Is there any intermediate or advanced programs / courses after completion of this program? So I think this program is meant to be very in-depth and comprehensive, but of course there will always be further upskilling opportunities that you can take up after this course. So I think another question for either Edmund or Aditya, what are the industries we can apply for if we complete the course?
All right. So data analytics is a very horizontal skill. So it cuts across all industries. It's quite agnostic. So you can actually apply it in any industry per se. What's best, I mean, there are multiple ways to go about it. What's best, for example, is let's say you have knowledge of retail. Going through this course helps you pivot into, retail analytics or become an analyst on the retail side. You could use transferable skills from your previous experience, combine it with what you learn, and then apply for an opportunity which now entails analytics with your domain expertise. But in saying that, it's not very sticky to that. You can actually apply to any industry after.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, I think you answered that question very well. And I think another further question from Ben is, so at the end of this program, of this data analyst program, what are the other roles that, the graduates could work as? For example, referencing the question, marketing analyst, product development engineers.
Yeah, I think the job titles could, there could be a variety of titles in terms of how different organizations put them. Data analyst business analyst is the most common one, but if you go more domain specific, you could have marketing analyst. It could be analyst in a different industry. It could also be business intelligence analyst or business intelligence engineer. So you could go into the data engineering side if that's of interest as well. So it could be a data engineer. And if you are very ambitious and you think that you can pick up a lot from the course, you can always target, even higher as a data scientist, for example. But the job titles could be a little, varied depending on the industry. But these are kind of the common ones.
Yes, thank you, Aditya. So another question is on job placement. So will there be job placements after passing the course? So across LHub, our placement-based programs, we actually have our career facilitation team helping you to, of course, refine your profile, refine your interview strategies, to help you in that job placement, but there is no job placement guarantee, if there is a question. But our career facilitation team, we have Bernadette with us here today. What we do is, we reach out to employers as well and try to connect you with them. Yeah. So Vincent, I see Vincent has a question on the SCTP funding. So is SCTP government funding only apply to one applicant for one SCTP funding? So we would encourage you to only apply for one program. But if you have further questions about this, because this is also quite detailed, if you're already intending to apply for a particular program, I would suggest you actually scan this QR code, submit your contact details, and then our course consultants will reach out to you to understand where you're coming from. Yeah. I think we have no more pending questions. So if that is all, I think we can end our webinar. Again, if you have any further questions that you think of after this webinar, you can always reach out to us and our course consultants will address your inquiries. And with that, we have come to the end of our webinar today. So just a reminder to take note to complete the application process to be considered for the program. And if you have any queries, please feel free to contact our consultants via this QR code we see here today. Otherwise, on behalf of NTUC Learning Hub, thank you for joining us today and have a good day ahead. Yeah, thank you to Aditya, Ivan, and all our speakers here today as well. Right, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.